Then, so we're deep into this. I have a whole week. I have a whole week of there's I have a whole week of off school because of a coronavirus. So you're reporting live from the space. Uh, honest. I'm going to be trying to what is it? Archive the Unis honest videos, and I'm going to post them on YouTube. But I can't post them on YouTube because that'll be copyrighted by this Mark Pillier dude and some other dude who makes it. So I'll be trying to post it all over the funny webs. Maybe find some dark archive to dump that footage. So I have built up my nuclear missile. I am now trying to build a bunch of star mines. And oh wait, I got if you go to rewards here, you get 3 hours, 3 hours of 3 hours of money and 20 lands. So where should we put it? Should we increase our territorial gains? Should we increase our barrack spaces? Should we increase our star mines or fusion power plants? Let's go for power plants. That way we can be energized for good. I have my shields, but I haven't inserted the commands for. Must raise our shields. Shields up, Captain! Just so I don't get hit as much. And all my missiles will be try to missile me, though they'll get nuked back. I can train a cohort of 1,000 soldiers here. I'm building up I'm going to slowly build up my tank commanders here, or maybe build a scientist. Let's start training more scientists. So I'm slowly making some gains into the 100, the 6-digit area. 6-digit salary. The 6-digit salary. Ooh, a 7-digit salary. So it won't be 6-digit salary. It will be 7-digit salary. That is if inflation keeps on happening. But with coronavirus, it's estimated that unfortunately lots of people will die. So we're at 6,000 deaths right now. So that sucks dick. But can't really say that's a homophobic thing. I retract that statement. But it's it sucks because those are people's lives. They're retirees. They built us all this telecommunications and all this internet and stuff. They built it in the 90s, in the 70s, 90s. They built everything. All this technology. Our grandparents built the sewer lines and the electrical wiring infrastructure and the roads and the basic sea train. And then after war, and our parents, they built in the 70s and stuff. In the 70s, they built us telecommunications. They built us the basic infrastructure of businesses. See the film Mad Men, for example, or the TV show Mad Men, for example. All these ATMs, all this stuff came in the 80s and 70s and 90s. So they built us that. All these early cancer research centers and stuff. They built that too. Children's hospitals, they built those too. So. And this is how the world repays them. Fate repays them by striking down them when they're ready to retire. So then when we are ready to retire, we go have a new Nova virus, a Novo virus, Novo coronavirus. So I'm just building up my resources here. It's a sad thing, really. You could pay legitimately for once. Nah. Too legit to quit. Is another wolf? Is another food land? Oh, food land again. Freddy Fazbear. Oh, I thought it said Fazbear, not Fleshier. Okay, so let's attack these. So everyone's hitting these people. Let's see how strong they are. 319. So let's take this player here. Stabbo Babbo or whatever. Slaborki. maybe. All right. So you got 80 planets. Where should we put that into? Of course, we'll put in star mines, and we built up our training camps. I want to start training my soldiers for super cheap. Yeah. Oh, I got an extra 10 or 10 here somewhere. Yeah, just for laughs. 5 barracks, five residences. So I've got a friend or a classmate of mine who wants to take one more digs at me and try to ask me to borrow money. So I said I'll think about it. You can't just keep on asking me for stuff. Kitty! Kitty head! Oh, kitty! Because they're going, cat's going, oh, hey, cat, I am a cat. I am king of the universe. Look at my cat head, my sexy cat head. I love cats. Every time I see the pointed ears, the round cat head, the whiskers, I'm like, my eyes hone in on the cat. It's like, it's I would think that once we reach, once we make contact with Cat Planet, look, yeah, they find out we really are their masters and their pets. We like look at little cat women or cat girls in the office, and we're like looking at the cat boobs, all 9 of them, all 6 of the boobs, and we're looking at the cats, and they're like, "Stop looking at me, you pervert! Meow, pervert!" Catwoman from what's that show called? Catwoman from the She-Ra show. Oh, we will attempt to start to raise money. Okay, boomer. Okay, boomer. There we go. COVID. Someone's calling themselves. If you go on Discord channel, figure out what's going on here. Oh no, I have coronavirus. You deserve a cookie. I wrote a huge funny thing about this RG magician, RM magician being a being a total cunt here. Being a total cunt. So I just said, you deserve a cookie. I got you. I got you. Got you. I did the George McFly laugh. Oh, so anyways, we were playing for half the month, but somehow it got deleted because of a bug. So we blamed it on coronavirus, and so we're just building up our province again, and We're gonna harass some of our players again, our own players, but whom shall I harass? Let's see here. We Stone High. Shrek? I don't think these are real players. I've seen them catching up to East Texas, so let's go to East Texas here. Texas. I like Texas actually. The stars at night are bright and big. The stars at night are big and bright. Texas. It's a very high tech province. It's got a good GDP and suburbia. So 407 soldiers. These are dragoons. These are defenders, I believe. Oh, these are troopers. Tactical fighter. Ooh, you got the tactical fighters up already. Okay, they've got the defense airlines. So it'd be quite silly to attack him. Okay, what about I can't remember the fullness of the song. I remember the girls on the show were especially Maisie Williams was like deaf and boobies, deaf and boobies, deaf and boobies. She was kind of making their own parody of the song, and oh, oh, Maisie Williams, oh, our little Arya, atheist Arya era, or I haven't seen. I only have Nettie, so I've seen Riverdale, but I haven't seen that one though. So it's Rob Banks for my own kingdom. One day I tend to get rich enough for my own Nikukan kind of like just big giant study room, giant Nikukan room, where I have a smudge room, big chamber. I have a smudge room, a smudge chamber. Ah, so Scotland said, "Hi all, used to play Star Kingdoms good many years ago. Went looking for it. Appears to be dead, and this place taking over the mantle. Good to be here." Yes, Star Kingdoms is dead. I mean, I was one of the last players of the last game. There's only perhaps 7 of us left over, and I kept on killing off. I kept on killing off all the other newbies that kept on coming in, so the population can't grow anymore. So it's just only us 6, and then I think I've nuked a legitimate player for once and knocked him down, but then he retaliated by sending his whole army against me. So as long and it's all good. So let's see here. Albert, Philroy. Ooh, Philroy looks like Genghis Khan, Philroy. Looks like a familiar name. This game does not feel different to you. Banks is a lot quieter. How long has it been running? Maybe about a year or so. Maybe about a year or so. Get them friends started. Hey, but I'm exactly the same scenario. Played Star Kingdoms for many years, but it's been a while. I found this is a replacement and getting used to it. It's very similar, just because of some certain things. Good to have you here. This just minor tweaks actually. Like for example, shields. You don't really type in the amount of shields you want to use up. You just type in the percentage. I actually couldn't figure that out for a while until I figured might as well put 10 because I saw so I didn't actually I didn't actually well this fraction was here, so then this is out. This means percentage out of 10%. That's the max. So that means it's a maximum of 10%. Percentage out of 20. Percentage out of 100. So I figure I can only go 10, 20, and 100, which is strange as hell because you know. Back in the other Star Kingdoms, you typed in the actual value of shields that you wanted to consume. So all my fusion power plants will start producing, and I start getting my soldiers back online and on route here. Oh, I can explore land. Okay, let's do that. Let's explore land. Uh, I got some people were posting and wanting to know when the next video is out. I couldn't post the other few videos because I don't know, something happened. I call myself Super Dave Osborne in Nether Kingdom, so and then like I actually that's what I was calling myself the last game. I was calling myself Super Dave Osborne, and then the bug happened. So this game is sort of a little bit buggy still, but that's okay. It's still functional. For what it wants it to be, it's still functional. So okay, so let's see. Philroy. Philroy is way too hard for me to attack. East Texas. What's the players again? The player that I want to kill off? Scotland. Ah. Welcome to the neighborhood, Scotland. You prepare to die. The little weasel laugh on the little weasel laugh on what's the show called? A movie called Billy Madison. It's a movie where a child or a man child he inherits his dying father's hotel empire. Well, actually, no, his father was about to retire, but Billy Madison was not intellectual or I mean, this is another movie of shaming disabled people, which is maybe it was a '90s thing to do, but you can't do it now. I mean, this is just everyone's going into lockdown mode where we actually have to hammer down on our speech and our subject matter. I mean, there's gonna be some tasteless people out there what's his name who still kind of exploit that shtick of making fun of ableism. It's called ableism, and ableism is still mocked heavily, but it's being akin to racism now. I mean, so I guess you can't make fun of anything anymore. I myself am disabled, so you guys can make fun of me all you want. It's all good. So that means that I got to you. Uh, I personally don't make fun of disabled people, but in this case, Billy Madison, the movie is starring Adam Sandler again, and in that movie he plays the child, a wealthy, affluent, no, privileged child, man child of one of his dads who runs a chain of hotels, luxury hotels, and so he has a protege whom he was grooming for the business, but he doesn't have the personality needed, or the interpersonal skills, or the intellectual intelligence to run a hotel. Because to run a hotel, it needs to be comfortable. It needs to be very functional for the customer. It has to be something that we want to actually use. Otherwise, it would just be a slop motel. No one's gonna come. Always give the people what they want. That's basically the first rule of customer service: is give the people what they want. And I know you guys want to watch my show, so I know you guys want to watch my show. So there's that. Ooh. I thought my mom gave you the cleanup pills to clean. Because if you remember a few weeks ago, I was really coughing it out. That's because it was like deep in winter. It's deep in winter. Now spring is coming, so it's all this nice warm weather is coming to defrost everything. It's deep in winter. I was getting the sniffles, and in fact, I haven't emptied out my spittoon, as you guys call it, my garbage can. This guy here. I haven't emptied it out completely yet. So that's what I plan to do. Next garbage day, next garbage cycle, I'll dump it out. But I've been taking some Chinese pills and some Western pills, neocitrin to help nuke loosen up the meds, and Chinese medicine to help because I'm Chinese, so it probably works on my body. It doesn't work. Maybe it might not work on Caucasian bodies. I don't know. We haven't done those experiments yet. But yeah, Chinese pills. Even the bitter tasting ones, phlegm pills. And then my mom decided to help build up my immune system because my immune system might have been compromised during these dark times of the plague. So then that might have made the total difference because I have a classmate who gave me the sniffles a few weeks ago. She still has the sniffles. Uh, but also she's not resting well. She's taking too hard. She's studying way too hard. You know that episode where Lisa or whatever the hell her name was on Saved by the Bell. She eats the caffeine pills and she goes into a meth related freak out or something. Or upper stimulant freak out, not meth because it's there. No, it is meth. That's I'm an addiction studies student, and it's not meth per se, but it's similar to speed. It's like energy pills. They're caffeine crush. They're the caffeine pills. Jesse, not. There you go, Jesse. Not Lisa. Why do they call it Lisa? Anyway, she freaks out because she's been taking too much pills and taking too much and studying too hard to get into Stanford, which is Stanford University is in California. And yes, you need to have good academic, and you have to have good. I would know what I'd do. If I were her, I'd just volunteer. You don't have to. You don't have to be in a band. You don't have to be. Just join some clubs that you like. Maybe music. It's for great taste. But basically, what they're trying to look for in universities is basically if you have maturity and if you can handle multitasking. Because it's gonna get really hard. I highly suggest that the government they create grade 13, which is elective. But they'll subsidize the grade 13, which is halfway, maybe 80% paid by the government, 20% paid by you, where they slowly kind of wean you into the academic. Because going from high school level textbooks where they tell you everything, and they give you, and by grade 12 they give you a small taste of cognitive independent thinking, where you actually do have to do the research, basically get you hooked on doing research, getting you hooked on APA, for example, and getting you hooked on cognitive thinking. Because once you're a student, university post secondary is not it's a school, but it's not that kind of school. It's a school where you're expected to be professional. It's a skill, and a lot of young people, a lot of young students, they're still in junior high mode. They're still in the high school mode. I would think that, and then older students, we're not as cognitive as younger students, so we're not as fresh. We're pretty much stale pizza or stale beer. We still taste like beer, but we're not the beer. Or pop soda, everything goes flat. It still tastes the same. Like, I mean, 7-Up is still 7-Up, Coke is still Coke, but it's very flat. So, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I suggest that you take grade 13, so you figure out so you can make the because a lot of times you do burn out, you do take on too much, and um, I highly suggest you take 3 classes at one time. I'm taking 3 classes now, and I just finished the last of the major assignments, so I have a lot of free time, and I'm going to be working on this Oxford assignment with my. That's the name, Oxford Competition. It's a map the system 2020, and what my group is doing is we're going to be confronting the issue of murdered missing Indigenous women. This happens in America a lot too, by the way. This is not just a Canadian problem; it's an American problem. It's because Indigenous women, our premise is that because of poverty, because of a systemic campaign against the native people, such as policies that continue to interfere with what little land that they have left, what little land they have left with their traditions, that their traditions and their family rearing is extremely of utmost importance, central to the Indigenous person. indigenous grandparents, the Cookums and the Cheechums, and uh, that the elders especially who suffered at least 100 year, well, at least 3/4 of a century of just nonstop brutality, Korea War, World War II, Vietnam. Uh, we got elders who are beat up in residential schools. Residential schools happen in the States and Canada, and also when these soldiers came back, all fucked in the head by seeing their humans get blown to bits by bombs and shit. They had their lands taken from them further, and of course you got the ranchers who say that I needs more lands for my cow. And then they don't even profit. They don't even food share. They don't even profit share. They don't even give any kind of sharing to the indigenous people that they've landed. What little land the indigenous people have are shrinking. So indigenous people go become lawyers. They become teachers. They become scientists. They become economics. So they can either buy back their land, which is what I forgot which tribe, a native tribe who owns Hard Rock Cafe bought, and Hard Rock Cafe had fucking great food. We had a Hard Rock Cafe here in Calgary, but it closed down. It was in Gold Clare Market, but oh god, it was so good. Oh, Hard Rock Cafe. Mm-mm. But if you're not a cowboy bar, if you're not a redneck cowboy rootin' tootin' bar, then it doesn't really last long here in Canada. Or if I mean the broth, not the brothel, the strippers, the gentlemen's club changed hands for 5 different times. Uh, Different nightclubs here in Calgary changed hands there 5 different times. So all these, so this is a cowboy culture still, suburban cowboy culture, the John Travolta movie. With reference to that, I haven't seen it yet though. So yeah, what was I doing here? Oh yes, I was mentioning indigenous people. So therefore, their culture is eroding, but their culture is also growing because the universities run by indigenous people. Also, Canada now has signed the UNDIP, but doesn't really. The UNDIP is the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People. UNDRIP, I meant to say UNDRIP, and Canada and especially the provincial governments, because the provincial governments represent the crowns in our particular realms within a realm. The big realm is Dominion of Canada, which signed the Royal Proclamation. This law is not in effect in America because America, you guys had your little revolution, had your successful revolution. We didn't. We failed in ours. But you had your successful revolution to develop your own independent country. So therefore, you have to do the treaties on your own. You make your own treaties with Washington, and but in this case, the treaties was with the crown, and therefore we can't. The treaty states that we cannot go onto indigenous lands unless the indigenous people allow us. So unceded unceded territory. So a lot of my planets here are my planets, but if you take it over, then they become ceded to you guys. Or I just take them back and they become unceded. So yeah, let's just pretend that these unceded territories that have not been treated and are continuing to be treaty violated and coerced into a treaty. That is the Wet'suwet'en homeworld. The Unisotan tribe, the Frog Clan, the Frog Clan or Frog tribe of the Unisotan homeworld, refuses to let people into their Yinta, their territory. And a lot of times these indigenous lands are shrinking and shrinking that have been signed over to the crown. And they're also isolated. But it's interesting because the chief, which is now elected chief, which is also a puppet government of the real government, a puppet government of Canada. They are able to empower themselves with economic decisions. However, the chief has an inner circle, and an inner circle, and they keep on trying to make the inner circle stronger. but at the expense of the needs of the indigenous of the whole of the tribe. The whole of the tribe is just like democracy anywhere or corruption. So then the whole tribe doesn't really grow. The tribe tries to grow because they want to stay alive and stay profitable with their with their tribal enterprises and whatnot. Lots of nations have are exceedingly quite well with economics now. The guy in that tribe and whatnot, and they're making smart decisions, putting their kids through school, and their families trying to restart their civilization by helping the individual family circles. Um, eco map, eco the ecology of a family, make it healthy, make all the eco map elements feed into that family to make it stronger. That's what the indigenous are trying to do, especially teaching the elders. However, what the crown keeps on trying to do is keep on taking more land whenever it's convenient. For example, pipelines, for example, or uh, we need some more land. Maybe the communities around the particular reservation, particular nation, continues to impose themselves as the city grows. Like for example, Calgary or Lethbridge or Edmonton, for example. And not only that, but the individual ranchers' farms, as we see, the individual ranchers' farms, they are growing quite healthily too. And well, not now, not in this particular year, not in this particular cycle or this particular fiscal cycle, 4 year fiscal, four quarter fiscal cycle, because of craziness, because indigenous people are pissed off, so they decide to block up some blockades, and they're rightful to do that too. I mean, it's like they're saying, you block off our economy by coming onto our lands, exploiting our resources, and giving us pennies in return. We gotta block off your economy, and that's basically the gist of what the whole problem is. Not the problem, but the whole situation is. It's because of that, and so therefore, I am an ally of indigenous people, by the way. As you can say, as you can tell by my buttons, and therefore we're doing this to make sure that we hold Canada accountable for putting more into building up the economic infrastructure for the recovery of these indigenous people, for the indigenous people, so that they have less elements to attack them with, less poverty that puts women in vulnerability. And because also as a male, you know, I mean, I'm privileged. I may not be a alpha male, but I'm still privileged, especially in Chinese culture, in Oriental culture, or Asian. I like the word Oriental. Sounds more poetic. Oriental cultures are very Confucian. They're very patriarchal. Uh, and so therefore, I want to kind of make a rebalance because I love this culture. I love this country. I love Canada. I love being a Canadian. Well, if I were American, I'd do the same thing too. But I love Canada. I wouldn't mind reincarnating into a Canadian as well. The work here is not done. Uh, in fact, I'm going to make it a goal to kind of reincarnate everywhere in every 50 states, all 11 provinces in Canada, just for the sole purpose of being a middle class, upper middle class, educated person who uses my skills. We even come as an Asian. I love the food. No, I would come as whatever, but an Asian in particular because I love the food. You can eat dim sum, baby. I also was Italian. I don't. Basically, if the food is good in that culture and it's good noms, and indigenous people have good noms. Mm-hmm. Oh God, I need some more. Oh, Saskatoon. I put a Saskatoon iceberry into my coffee mug, to bring it home. Or was it a jar? I can't remember. But I put it into a jar, some kind of container, and I left it in the fridge. I forgot it was there, and then it turned into a nice, delicious, icy smoothie. It's like all the berries and stuff kind of congealed into this kind of goo. Oh, it tasted so good. And then it tasted like it tasted like good. Um, Put yogurt in your berry. Eat yogurt. Eat yogurt a lot. Get your gut flora population up, right? And that's what indigenous people used to do. They used to eat berries. They used to eat berries a lot. whenever they travel, well, I'm talking about the plains natives. All different indigenous are different to their particular uh, zones. Therefore, West Coast, East Coast, the indigenous tribes, the Micmacs. Well, actually, the Beothuks are an extinct tribe, but extinct nation, but they kind of fused into the Beoth. We did some genetic testing. They kind of fused into they kind of fused into their genetics. Kind of fused into Beoth, the Micmac. They kind of fused into other kind of East Coast worlds and worlds. So therefore, their genes are still floating in the system somewhere, which is good because they haven't been totally wiped out. China's done that a lot, especially to the Bo-Ren people. I feel too bad for that. I myself am Han Chinese, but I'm also Southern Chinese. So we were subjugated by the North, the Northern Hans, and we were amalgamated into the Chinese sphere. But we were our own independent people too. Eventually, the Guangdong people, the Gonzai people, were part of Vietnam, and we formed this Yue people, Bai Yue, an ancient kingdom. But we were invaded and amalgamated into China, so we all became Chinese. Not Han Chinese. And it's like calling it Canada. Canada's made up of many different. America is made of very different cities, many different tribes, very different states. For example, Atlanta's very different from Louisiana. Louisiana's very different from Florida. Floridians, and well, the teams are different too. There's like at least 50 different teams in the states, like NorCal, SoCal. I haven't been to Cal's. Well, just in the movies, basically. I've been to Seattle, like Bellevue. Not Bellevue, but I've been to Seattle. And holy crap! Talk about high traffic. I mean, just the border crossings, this huge high traffic freeway. Oh wow! Canada and Canada, it was a shared border. There was supposed to be a shared border between both our countries. Just call it a country called Cascade Mountains, Cascadia or something. That's what the original plan was. Just call it Tree Land. All the hippies there, and then they'll become Yogurt Land, and then they become like this high tech space age people. Just think of Shadowrun the game. But like I said, we're trying to rebuild, help the indigenous people rebuild themselves as allies, so that this is good for the country too. When people are healthy, when there's more humans out there, there's more demand to buy stuff, food, for example, clothing, because you don't want to see me naked, and these are smudge sticks, by the way. These used to be branches I found on the ground, and I just shaved it off and just turned them into smudge sticks. I can't smudge this week though because I'm too busy. We're too busy staying at home recovering from Corona. The schools are closed down, by the way, because everyone's into lockdown mode and they want to control the population. But and they want to control as much movement as possible out there. But churches and what are the homeless? They're trying to recover too. Where the hell are the homeless going to be? They have to go to their meetings. They have to go to their medical meetings to get in good health, to get to access good health, so they can recover, get the fortification, get the resilience they need to challenge the asshat people who hurt them in the first place. And that happens a lot to indigenous people too, because we hurt this. I came back from the Calgary Stampede the other day, last summer, and I held open the door because I went to go give money to a busker, a Tony the Saxman. He only has 2 songs in his repertoire, by the way. It's the Addams Family song, Spider-Man. That's basically it. And he plays all that. He plays that all the time. But whatever makes him happy, you know. And so I pay him $5 every time. He might be coming back this spring, maybe not. He's retired, he said. But anyways, I have the door open. If I hadn't gone to Tony the Saxman, I would have gone on the C train, and the C train would have left, and I would have been like the last train there or something. So last train home. So I was able to gum up the system by holding the door open and yeah. In comes a bloodied up indigenous teenager and his sister, and they tell me that a bunch of drunk cowboys jumped them for no reason. And yeah, people get pretty crazy during the Calgary Stampede. It's getting better these days. Because the thing is, the city really wants to make this a fun-friendly venue. Because there's not just it's not just the rodeo and the chuck wagons and the barrel racing and the four native the four person relay, which is a indigenous created sport, by the way, which is actually quite exciting. Uh, but dee dee da da do do do. But but it's also the midway too, and a lot of kids, a lot of teenagers, a lot of kids are still there. Still. Like, oh, speaking of Calgary Stampede, I kind of filled out their application this year. They're sending me an application again to reapply. So me and my friend, we put ourselves down for it, but we we would try to work during the summertime, get more money during the summer. But no, I think we're studying. I'm studying. I'm studying online, taking FAS. So that's just me right now. That's just how aware I am. I'm deleting the other videos because they just don't make any sense yet. So hopefully I start posting this guy online, and once I reveal myself, then I can start posting myself. And so Oxford competition, huh? So that's MMIWs. That's what we're doing. That's the nomenclature to my nama here. The nomenclature to my nama. Let's go try to see if anyone's going all snide and stuff here. It's the RG magician or RRM magician, RJ magician, RM magician, and BM magician, more like it. You deserve a cookie. Everything you deserve a cookie. I'm going over some soup, and then the cure for coronavirus soup. Okay, what the hell's going on here? So someone got killed. Wait, someone got hit by the Shinkansen, the bullet train. The Shinkansen got. Oh, what's a happy face? Oh, holy shit! That's just bad taste. He's suicide, happy face, and guts everywhere. I'm assuming that's a jumper. That's a thing too. They should put barriers here. Like they should start putting barriers here and little gates. I'm serious. I know it's gonna be really rough to climb in and climb out. The whole climb in climb out thing. And if someone's really chubby, you can't get out the gate. But yeah, I mean, it's getting crazy. And the thing is, the driver here. Well, this is the driver of this train, more like it. But the old driver, they were all going driverless train. The Vancouver SkyTrain has been driverless since the 80s. Um, um, but yeah, the driver gets freaked out. He gets really PTSD'd when he sees that he's hit somebody. And like for example, they talked about a London Underground metro driver, and the London Underground has a huge number of suicides. By the way, so he jumped in. So he says that he hit someone, but it's late. But lucky for him, it was late. But you can see his silhouette shambling. So he hit that person, and he couldn't even sleep, and became alcoholic, had nightmares, and yeah, because people are empathetic. People give a shit about other people. So don't if you want to if you feel like uh, if you have suicidal feelings, please talk to somebody. Because please talk to somebody. Otherwise, we want to keep you out of the river of death. Okay, in anti-suicide literature and all anti-suicide workshops I've been to, we are all of us, all of humanity, are wading in this river Styx kind of thing, which of course, towards the end of it is like this waterfall and this suicide, right? But we're wading in the river at different little points in our lives. And we need rescuers or ourselves to rescue, to pull us out of the river. Otherwise, we further go along. Each despairing event in our lives, we go further along. Further along, we're tubing. We're tubing in the river, and the tube gets closer to the edge, and we want to get out of the river, so we don't know how. So a lot of times, a motivational interviewer, a listener, we listen to the clues that we have. What? Broken software developer was the one that people killed his. What? They killed the man killed a game maker. Wow, this is insane, man. Who are these yo-yos that they keep on posting in here? They're posting guns, they're posting coronavirus, they're posting politics. Did I just stumble into the forum of Guns and Ammo? They used to have a Guns and Ammo magazine and Soldiers of Fortune magazine at the chapters, but I kept like bringing in all these weirdos, all these right wing nut jobs. So you want to get those kind of magazines, this kind of gun magazines, you have to go to a gun store, a gun shop, which I'm going to eventually learn how to fire a gun. And I'm going to eventually learn how to hunt. Okay, hunting a deer and stuff is okay, and you can take photos of that. But if people start taking photos of killing endangered animals, then this inflames the internet, right? Trudeau is such a fag, though. I think it's such. Okay, this is where I last posted. I posted I posted on Oh, we're talking about the Church of. Oh yeah, I was just mentioning that at church yesterday. They had they had they've emptied out all the water, the christens for the bowl christen bowls for the holy water. I'm gonna let you let that sink in for a bit. Catholics believe that this water is holy because you can throw it at vampires from Buffy, and then the vampire goes, "Ah! You threw it at me, Buffy." So then, this water is kind of disease. It can get infected with disease, but it can kill vampires, and you can chase out demons in your body. Just flash someone in some. For that matter, what the baptismal font that was full body baptismal font, by the way. This is gonna be full body baptismal font where all my snot and my goo and my hair grease everywhere, all the fungi in my feet and all the fungi in my nails and all my fungi in my ass and all my shit and all my pee, all my really gross parts will get into the water and then everyone gets sick. And I've been splashing their water. And I guess from them. And we get each other sick. I'm gonna have the church wash my feet though. I'm just doing it for the experience. I'm not doing this time. I'm not doing it to be a dick. I'm just doing it because I want experience. I want all sorts of experience on this planet. Being part of that is being a dick, but in this case, I'm not being a dick because I'm being honest. Negative. Okay, well, next video I'll read this out, but I gotta give money to my classmate. My classmate's asking for some bling to pay off a phone bill or something. I don't know. I get paid back on the 27th, but okay, if I put my cards correctly, I'll be able to break even again. But I'll be able to break even again. Boo! I want to pay it all off. Okay. Pre stuff. Okay. So thank you for watching our show. We're gonna be right back. We're gonna call this coronavirus era. No, this is gonna be officially beta 15. Beta 14 doesn't exist anymore because it was half. I was half a. I was half a thing. Okay, well, good night, guys. Thank you. Good thing, guys. I'll come back and I'll do the readings for this here eventually in about an hour, half hour or so when I get bored of my studying.